Never mind, turn 2 nothing. I concede. Wow. It's like the most reasonable looking hand I've had all day. I have a 2-drop and a 3-drop. And maybe can cast this on turn 4, that could also be great. Yes, red deck is what I want to see as well. Plane's not the right land to draw into, but still that makes my turn 4 Glorifier of Duskdream a reality. Okay, not maybe not the type of blue-red deck that I wanted to face. Because I was hoping to beat up some aggressive blue-red Pirates deck with my Squire's Devotions and defensive cards. And okay, I guess the Thaumatic Compass miss your 3rd land drop is acceptable though. Because that is not a combo. Confirmed, not a combo. I mean, I should be attacking first. Yes, blue-white Garbo getting there. I mean, it shouldn't really be celebrating these type of moments, but I have to take my wins where I can get them. Easy game, yeah. And especially easy game if my opponent tries casting creatures. If they just hit their land drop and bombard my Glorifier, I might still be in trouble. If they try casting creatures to stabilize here, they're completely screwed. Because then the tide comes crashing. And swamp, okay. So now they get their 4th land guaranteed. But they're still taking a ton of damage if there's no bombard or something coming out. The black removal spells here don't even help much, like Vanquish the Weak and Reaver Ambush and all that. I guess they get to pick off my Snaphorn Sentry because I'm not ascended yet. But yeah, most likely it's just Thaumatic Compass activation, and then my opponent kind of needs a Chupacabra or something. Really hope... Okay, Island I'd like to see. Against second Swamp I was pretty worried. Because then I'm attacking for 1 damage next turn instead of 6. If they Chupacabra this block here. Well... That I am reasonably well set up against. So, opponent's control, okay. I was 1 permanent short, but I could have even ran out Baffling End with no target to ascend my Snaphorn Sentry if I had 1 more permanent on the board already. Because it says opponent's control, so the trigger would have just fizzled. The anemic beats are coming in for sure. Though I did gain some card advantage back from the Crashing Tide, but I'm pretty far away from recasting it right now. Okay, so this gets me to 9 permanents if I cast these 2. Yeah, probably still worth it. Then next turn I can possibly attack for more. It already gets 1 damage in this turn, and my hand is like mono removal, or at least if you count the bounce spells as removal, because my opponent is unlikely to be able to recast all the things that I'm bouncing. And also considering I'm beating down with 1 and 2 drops, I'm very well protected against the golden demise, which is a nice bonus. Usually if you curve like 1 drop into 2 drop into 3 drop, you get like super wrecked by golden demise as a catch-up mechanic. But jokes on my opponent, my creatures are all 1 power and unkillable. Okay, so land would be amazing. Because then I would guarantee the ascent. Now, I mean, my best way to deal with that is the crashing tides, I guess. But then I'm not ascending. Or I can just cast one of these two and attack with everything, then they trade here and go to 5. It's not that great for me, right? I think I'll just crashing tide and try to find a land because it just wins on the spot, so yeah, I think that's better. Damn it, did not get there. Probably still want to get this attack in just because it makes my Skyblade of the Legion better in the future. If I have this guaranteed attack, it's going to be tapped for quite a while. Because only Squire's Devotion untaps it, and like Squire's Devotion might just end the game. But yeah, still seems correct to get these 3 damage in before my opponent can do something about it. Yeah, Ascent would have just won the game on the spot. The alternative was to just Ascend and send these 2 in and let my opponent trade. But I feel like this winning me the game like 40% of the time and leaving me in a great position. The other 60% of the time is just a good gamble to take. So, blue, red, black, turtle. Looks like a matchup for this. Or it might just be another matchup for the blue-green actually. It's awkward to board into the blue-green when I haven't seen much of my opponent's deck. But the Grixis Sailor of Means deck with Thaumatic Compass does not seem like a matchup where I really want to be on like mono Baffling Ends, mono Squares Devotions. Okay, I'll just do this in the dark and then hope it works out for me. Just more threat density, though Colossal Dreadmore does not match up against the Thaumatic Compass all that well. But I did like how this deck played against like opposing, more controlling deck in the previous round. So yeah, Diviner is just more anemic beats. I was considering throwing this out just because it's so difficult to trigger. Alternatively, I could put one of these two drops into my deck so that it triggers more often. Even if the Diviner becomes like an 0-3, it can still attack and trigger raid. But that's not a great proposition against a control deck, right? Maybe I do have to run River Darter or Jungleborn Pioneer. I guess against the Grixis deck that has not shown me any Golden Demise or like Pirate Chasms yet. Jungleborn Pioneer could be better. Last time I didn't board it in, it was because I had seen 3 Sailor of Means and then neither the Jungleborn Pioneer nor its token can make any profitable attacks. And maybe 1 less Crashing Tide for that reason, okay. Also kinda close between, probably not that close, but like leaving the Plummet in my sideboard could backfire against a blue deck. But I think having seen 0 flyers so far, and black and red not being massive flyer colors, there are the Mausoleum Harpy and the Vampire Revenant in black as well. But yeah, I think boarding it in the dark is a little bit too, I don't know, unreliable. Yeah, I think I'll keep this, but once again I'm not super happy with it, though I can't really try to mulligan to 1 and 2 drops if my deck has literally 2 of them combined. one drop, 1 2-drop, so I just have to accept that my curve always starts on 3. Would obviously be a lot better if one of these was already a forest. But yeah, I think this will have to do. It's kind of just what my deck does. Turn 5 Colossal Dreadma, hope it gets there. Sure. No reason to show them the green yet, I think. If they arterial flow me, I'm still just discarding like Crushing Tide plus Island or something of that sort. Probably still better to lead on this. Plays into Pyroclasm a little bit more, but I do have so many 2 toughness creatures in the rest of my deck. Well, some of them are pirates. This one doesn't count. Only counts for Golden Demise. But then I'll curve Sailor of Means into Colossal Dreadma, so I won't have to worry about Golden Demise for quite a while. It will only trade 1 for 1 for the Jungleborn. Opponent really likes to do nothing so far. They might just be stuck with a bunch of blue cards in their hand as well, which I appreciate. I appreciate the help. Okay, so 5 mana available. I still haven't shown them a target worth Chupacabra Rain, so it makes some sense. Can continue the Anemic Beats with this Crashing Tide, but then I'm not guaranteed to be using my mana all that well. I can just suicide one of these in to be able to develop my Rig Hauler. Might be okay, but then I'm losing this. The highest pressure line for my opponent is to run out this Dreadmaw. And then I'm super bad against like Contract Killing, Impale Chupacabra, but it does threaten to just kill them pretty quickly, and then I can like start Crushing Tiding when I do have pressure on the board. It's probably just correct. I just don't like how it plays into my opponent's most likely contents of the hand, because they kept a pretty slow one. I think they would have likely fired off Moment of Craving on this, so there's not a lot of other cards that they would keep a 7-card hand with. Wow, that is actually surprisingly good for me. I'm probably still bouncing this instead of the fire. I can pretty much make the same attacks, but yeah, this already rewards me. Wow, that was a sick draw. I would rather lock this down than the 4/4, I think. But yeah, in either case, if they recast the 4/4, they're pretty much going to be dead, so they need to come up with something different. And if their best turn 5 was Mausoleum Harpy, I think it's pretty hopeless for my opponent. If they had any type of real answer to the Colossal Dreadmaw, they would have already cast that. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Easiest 3-1 of my life.